Hi friends, today I just made a small attempt to give you tips to prepare for Junior Civil Judges exams preliminary point of view. Now in this video I just want to give you some inputs for your preparation to cracking the prelims. So kindly follow. See, in this Junior Civil Judges exam there is no negative marking, it is one advantage to you and it is for 100 marks. So as per the syllabus of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana for Junior Civil Judges post, there are only 22 bare acts from which the questions are being asked. So total subjects are 22 bare acts. Okay. Out of these 22 bare acts, I have made a little preferential ratings. Accordingly, you can make preparation for those acts. So in this part, I have made this first preference, second preference and third preference based upon the questions being asked from these acts. So my first preferences subjects are IPC, CRPC, CPC, that is Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, Civil Procedure Code and Indian Evidence Act, Transfer of Property Act and Contracts Act. So these are the first preferential area where you will get a question. So from out of these you can get a question minimum 7 to maximum 12 questions from this all. Okay. This is one important area where you need to focus. So the minimum are 7 questions and maximum are 12 or sometimes 13, 14 also from one of the subjects, right? And the second preferential subjects which I prepared like Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Limitation Act, Specific Relief Act, Easements Act, Negotiable Instruments Act and Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act and Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act. Okay, from these acts I can tell you the minimum questions are 3 and the maximum are 5. Okay. So the minimum questions are 3 and the maximum questions are 5 from the second preferential subjects which I have chosen. So my appeal to you is these are the second preferential subjects which are very short and very simple to understand, and the next more thing is these are not a lengthy section of laws unlike CRPC, CPC. Okay, so these are the areas where your content of section is very small. So to keep in your mind, these are very easy and these are the mandatory subjects where you will get minimum 3 to 5 questions. That is 4. Suppose we will take an average rate 4 questions from each subject. 4 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 into 8. Okay. You will get a questions around 32. Suppose you consider that 30 questions will be coming from the second preference area. So the second preference area you have to master it in the first list of your preparation. Okay. And coming to the third preference. Third preference area is like this: the Gaming Act, Excise Act, Stamp Act, Registration Act, Rent Control Act and Land Encroachment and Civil Rules of Practice and Criminal Rules of Practice. See, this is the area, these are the acts where I have given you third preference because in few years there were no questions at all from these subjects, from these acts, and if at all so asked, there are hardly 1 or 2 or max is 3. Okay, so minimum is 1 or sometimes 0 also, 2, 3 from these. Okay, that is third preference. So from these 3, suppose we make it 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 into 8, hardly you will get 16 or 15 questions out of 100. So you understand the concept here. instead of putting so many efforts on this subject, I advise you to put the maximum efforts on this and on this. Okay. So, where if you don't understand or if you quit these subjects also, it doesn't matter. But they are very important only in few areas, not all. The entire act is very important for your exam point of view. So, with regard to these subjects, that is third preferential list, I advise you to master all the old question papers. From that, what are the questions they posed, you mastered it, that would be sufficient. So, I don't advise much than that, okay, with regard to third preference. And now I will tell you how to prepare for the first preference subjects, that is this Indian Penal Code and CRPC, CPC is a procedure law. I would like to tell you one important point here in this part here is Indian evidence, transfer of property and contracts. These are the three major acts. You will get questions minimum 7 to 12, right? So, and these are the acts where the content of the act is a little bit simple and means a small, and the next one is comparing with these three major acts. These three acts are hardly below 200 sections in these three. Okay, there are no, these three acts does not contain sections which are more than 200, but these three are in numbers of above 200, right? So, I advise you to Indian Evidence Act, Transfer of Property Act and Contracts Act. Master the table of content, each section number, this heading, chapter, its name, everything you have to by heart like this. Okay, these are the area where you can crack maximum marks. So, Transfer of Property Act, Indian Evidence Act and Contracts Act. Master this table of content. In fact, the table of content and chapter number and chapter names, you have to master for all these 22 bare acts. And the next most important area is, these three are the most scoring subjects all the time. Okay, evidence, transfer of property and contracts are the most scoring subjects. So, and they are comparing with all these, they are major acts and they are short. So, I advise you to master these subjects first. Evidence, property and contracts. If you master these three, there is a possibility of getting minimum 25 to 30 questions from this area only. Okay, so majority portion you will get from this portion and this portion. So these two are very much convenient for you to remember. Okay, and coming to this part, IPC, CRPC and CPC. See, IPC, you have 511 sections, but still 511 are not so important. So you have to master in this IPC the table of content, that is index. So from this IPC, CRPC, CPC, I have seen all the old question papers. What are the mode of questioning here is chapter, they will give you a chapter number and they will give you the options. Okay, you have to give the appropriate answer by stating that it's chapter name. So, and also like the CRPC, okay, chapter 21A, plea bargaining. Okay, and coming to CPC part, you have to read the orders and the title of the order. So this is one important area you will get from the index itself. Okay, if you master index from this part and master the old question papers, there is a possibility of getting at least half of this portion, that is the remaining 30%. It means you will come 50% of this marks. That means, I mean to say, you will get 15 marks or at least 10 marks in this heading table of content itself. That is IPC, CRPC, CPC. You will get 10 questions at least in the order numbers, rules, section numbers, chapters, their titles. Okay, you will get from this. And coming into the deep of the content, you have to read all the old question papers and master it. Okay. Coming to the other important area, how to prepare the old question papers, okay, for this prelims exam. We have questions from 2009, okay, 2009, 11, 12, 15 March, 15th July, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 Telangana state paper and 2019 Andhra state paper. So total we have 10 papers, right? So these are the old question papers of the High Court, right? Of the same syllabus, JCJ for both states, right? So from these 10 means each paper consisting of 100 bits. So 10 into 100,000 bits you have in your hands means you have to master all these 1000 bits. Okay, then there is a possibility, and you can see many of repetitions, right? So from this 1000 the entire syllabus is covered. So I advise each and every student who are aspiring to become JCJ to master all these 1000 bits. Okay, how to master them? I am just giving you one tip. Make a chart for each act as per year wise. Like if the year 2009, take a subject, Limitation Act. Okay, in Limitation Act 2009, how many questions? What are they? And 2011, how many questions? What are they? Likewise, every subject you have to prepare. Okay, with that you will be very much familiar. If you do this hard work by your own, you will be very much familiar with the question and mode of asking the same section in many ways. So that is a most important crux area where you need to understand. The single question that is considering under Limitation Act section 4, this can be asked in the same sense, but it can be asked in different manners. If you see the old questions, you can sense it, you can feel it, that the same topic, the same section, the different questions were asked. So you understand that. Okay, section 3 of Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, what it deals with. This is a direct question. Generally, in section 2 only the definition parts are included in each and every act. But in section 3 of DVC Act, there is a definition of domestic violence. So it is one kind unique question. So you have to master all these areas. Okay, this is one question which were asked. Okay, and in domestic violence also, what it includes? Only one section 3, there are different pattern of questions. So you understand that. You will understand this part only when you make a chart from each act as per year wise. Then only you can master, understand these 1000 questions. And out of these 1000 questions, I am sure to a point that there are almost 400 bits are repetitions. Okay, so with this you can understand that out of these 1000, in your question paper which you are going to write, we can expect at least 15 to 20 bits. Absolutely. So if you master this, you will get a direct questions of minimum 20 questions and indirect questions minimum 30 to 40. So try to understand, read the content of this each and every section and observe it. Then whatever the mode of question may be, you will be in a position to answer it. Okay, and the second tip is, once after finishing this work, every subject wise chart, you have to write it like a one-liner word. Okay, suppose section 3 of the Domestic Violence Act defines domestic violence. Okay, and section 9 of Limitation Act, once the time starts running, it will run. That's all. So these are the areas where you are getting. So when you are getting a question after doing this chart wise, write it like a one-liner, read it and write without seeing that. Means practice it, read it, absorb to your body, mind. Okay, then read it. Then the next other point is also practice other state judicial exams. This is the most important thing which I want to tell you. For the people of both Telugu states, I advise you to write the other state judicial services. Don't feel that we don't know Hindi or we don't know a proper standard of English as being a village background or so. Don't feel it. Just attempt. Okay, attempt. And in few states there are local laws. Like we have AP Gaming Act, AP Excise Act. They also have the same patterns. Hardly 2 or 3 subjects. But it doesn't matter. I advise to you to appear for all other state judicial services. Attempt, give attempt, practice those question papers. Okay, you will get different mode of questioning style. You will understand the different mode of questioning style. So also apply for other states and practice their other state question papers. Okay, collect, pull up all the other state junior and civil judges exams question papers and practice them. And then read subject wise MCQs and practice. In a material, we have given each and every subject. See, this is a book, I think all our students having it. Okay, this is a book of multiple choice question and answer format book, reading material. So this is a book where we have given subject wise. See, from here, from page number 99, the Contracts Act questions are starting, and after that each and every subject, transfer property, IPC, CRPC, all 22 bare acts we have covered in it. And apart from this, we have also continued this book in this format, and I have taken a one more print also. That prints were finished, and now I am going to, after this exam, we are going to give a new print. So with this latest amendments to Specific Relief Act and latest amendments to Negotiable Instruments Act, I have made few questionnaire, okay, and you can see that in this material and the latest new books. And also we have incorporated questions from multiple choice questions, Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection, Gaming Act and Excise Act. So I advise you to master all these questions individually. Just master these books, okay, these material which we have given to you, that would be sufficient, okay. And just be focused on the latest amendment parts. Master all the latest amendment parts of each and every act of your syllabus. You will get latest amendments. From this area, you will get at least 5 or 6 questions from the latest amendment. Okay, and read the table of contents of each act. As I just told you before, read all the table of contents with chapters, rules, section numbers, and try to understand the gist of it and remember the heading and section number. That would be sufficient for prelims point of view. Okay, so these are the important points. And if you have a Transfer Property Act, bare act, okay, my appeal to you is take out this bare act. Okay, first read the preamble of each and every act to understand why this enactment was made, and read this enactment with the object of this sense only, with the same sense only. And then chapter 1 preliminary, chapter 2 of Transfer Properties Act of Parties, okay, chapter 3 sale of immovable property, read this. Chapter 3 deals with immovable property. Likewise, in all acts you have to master this. And also I advise you to section 1, read it, okay, till section 1 to till sections, okay, 137. Just mug up this table of chart, read it, by heart it. Okay, each and every section you need to put in your mind. These are very, very important acts. Like this, you have to do this Transfer Property, Indian Contracts and Indian Evidence Act. And other parts, the second preferential parts, Limitation Act, Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession, Easement, Negotiable Instruments, Specific Relief, and other acts which I have told you in the second preferential list, Domestic Violence. So all these also you have to by heart the table of content, and then go into the deep with the subjects which are already given in our material, and also the old question papers, this part. Okay, so that will be sufficient for your prelims. And last but not the least, I sincerely tell you, but if you want to be a topper or you want to be the achiever, okay, you have no excuses, no compromises. Don't go into shortcuts, just roundabout. Roundabout means prepare the whole syllabus and don't compromise. And luckily you got an abundant time now, so my appeal is to prepare thoroughly. A sincere preparation for 2 months, a complete sincere preparation of 2 months for JCJ prelims, sufficient, not more than 2 months. Okay, so for achievers, toppers, no compromise and no excuses. I want our students of Pulsar to be in the top 10. After 10 also, it's not a great thing. Okay, so I advise you all to be the toppers. Give your full effort. You will achieve it. Good luck.